Hello and welcome to another Sound of Mind interview. Back in April I sat down with Andrew Groves of ARCANE Roots ahead of their performance at Space Rocks at Indigo at the O2. In this part we talk about the preparation and fears of performing live, challenging audiences in the way they'd wish to be challenged, and maintaining personal morals in the music industry. We're here to talk about your mind today.
Alright, okay, yeah.
God.
Oh my god.
I saw on Twitter that you posted that you're a bit terrified about today.
Oh yeah, it's one of those things where it's like one of my favourite phrases. I'm really bad at kind of analogies. So I've stuck with this one as it's worked and people are like, oh, I understand what you mean. But I describe it as kind of like hoovering under the sofa. It's like, I know I've hoovered under the sofa. No one else knows I've hoovered under the sofa. No one's going around your house to check you've hoovered under your sofa. Yeah, well, yeah, hopefully. Maybe your mum or someone. But I know I've done it. And for me, I think that sums me up a lot. I like the knowledge of it, the morality of it. And it's like, you've come round today, I've cleaned the house, really good for you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like that today. So it's been like a lot of work, but it will not be anywhere near as impressive as it. Like, it won't sound more impressive.
Yeah.
It's just harder and a lot more like spinning plates than people like. If the problem is the justice is, and this is what a lot of people say who kind of go down this route, is that like the audience are so used to, especially with electronica, like that production value. That like if something goes wrong, like they'll just be like, oh, you must be rubbish. But when they, it's maybe like if you had an idea of how difficult it is to like actually keep it running the whole entire time and kind of adjust between the songs and the different parts while doing everything else. And then maybe I should release like a memoir and then, oh, that time he screwed that whole thing up. Like he was just trying, and it was, so yeah, it's today's it's a big. Usually I like to roll ambitious plans out in small steps to be safe. Well, actually that's a lie. I usually try and go for like the most furthest thing. But in reality, what happens is luckily I'm surrounded by realists who are like, you should probably just do this. And so that's kind of why I haven't got to the moon yet. Do you know? That's the one thing. I come here today for the moon. Still hasn't happened. So today, it's just everything is literally voltage running around the stage in very precarious state, creating sounds and being kind of adjusted. So I'm sure it would just sound like an okay, kind of acoustic electronic-y set. But
it'll be above average. Come on, give yourself.
Yeah. Maybe hopefully there'll be some people. I'm here for the like maybe one person in the audience who's like, it was actually very impressive. I know what it takes to do. I feel like maybe I would get his or her respect. So.
Apart from being very thorough in the run-up and the prep and going over things, what else happens to you when you're nervous about something? Are you someone that doesn't sleep? Do you get obsessive about checking things?
I'm definitely a very obsessive person and very. I don't know. I like what I like, and I like how I like to do it, and that has been for us as a band, I suppose. Like it has benefits and it has drawbacks. Like certainly, I like doing things, and I also start lots of sentences and don't finish them. But for me, that's my trade-off, maybe with the world. I think certainly where we are as a band and as a person and an age and we've been doing it for like 10 years now, that I always kind of was like trying to be the nice guy who finishes last and in that sense maybe too hard, maybe I'm trying too hard, I'm in the friend zone. But just if I always felt like if I did things to like a moral somewhat moral code, that I thought things should be done really thorough and for the right reasons and the most organic way, and trying to be the best version of our band that we can and be the best musicians and study hard and work really. Unlike, that's not to say we ever do it. The point is that we never get to the point we ever want to, but you know, you put in 100% of effort and you maybe get 20% of the way, you know. That's kind of the way forward. So certainly, like, I didn't sleep at all last night. Well, maybe I did, I don't know, you know, and you can't really tell. But yeah, I need separation. I like to kind of, I don't know, watch something rubbish or something, just some guff. Yeah, just absolute guff. And maybe that will, but yeah, it's I kind of, whether that, I don't know, maybe that says more about me than but like, I can't move forward if I don't think it's the right, like, I would literally be like, no, this is not the right, this is like, we need to do this properly.
But I totally understand that, because this is, in a sense, your legacy. You're going to have to live with your work for the rest of your life. You want to be proud of it as much as possible, and not feel like you traded off your integrity to get there. So I get that. And
I think, you know, I think with the position we're in as a band, we were kind of, you know, to move from being, I don't know, 14, whatever, and the aspirations you have and the ideas you have and the things you think you know about what you want to do, you know. So, right, I've got a guitar, I want to be a guitar player, I'm in a band, blah, blah, blah. You know, we squared it away, you know, fairly soon. We're just like, I don't think we're going to be a hairstyle rock band. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're not going to be heartthrobs, like
a Kings of Leon.
Yeah. We're not. We're just like, you know, if you love synths, maybe, or like, you know, if you love things that no one else cares about, then we're your guys. But it was always kind of just, you know, the idea that we had these ideas, and we thought that we could add something and we could do it, and, you know, kind of, you know, what if, you know, pure creationism, you know, literally being like, what would be the best gig ever? What would be like the best music? And it has to be, I suppose, to some extent, purely selfish. You know, it's just like, what music would I like to hear now? You know, like, I love this and I love this, but there's no one here. Like, go, you know. Yeah. And so we kind of just was like, well, let's focus on that. And, you know, sometimes it feels like kind of making handcrafted furniture in the era of IKEA kind of thing. But for us, we felt like, well, you know, when someone was kind of, you know, with serious, and we wanted this bond of trust between us and our audience, that, you know, we're not gonna fail you, whatever that means, or try our best not to, but also challenge you and treat you like we would treat ourselves, as in we want to be challenged and stimulated and kind of and pushed and you know, present new things. I found, you know, my music taste has changed so much over the years, you know, and I feel like that's the only thing we can do as a band. Like, I feel like that's our contract as such. So, you know, so far, like I say, the last album we put out was obviously kind of a big movement away from things, and like that's been received better than any other record. So I'd like to say maybe that gives me faith in that idea, you know, and that doing that was the right thing. That's not to say we don't have, you know, moments of intense doubt, and
well, that's natural though.
Anything
creative, I think you have those wobbles, don't you?
And so I think it's just whether or not, you know, we achieve the things, and, you know, I kind of hope we never do, because it kind of keeps us really motivated to do better.
I always think most of the joy is in the journey. Like,
absolutely,
you just create a new end destination, even if you get to the thing anyway.
Moves. The target moves. Yeah, absolutely. The goal. Yeah, it's a much better say rubbish. So yeah, I think that's kind of, I feel like that's all we can do, and kind of, I don't know, that's kind of our, like I say, we feel like that's our contract with everyone, to kind of be like.
But I think, like, when you're a smaller band or it's early on, you can be authentic, you can do what you want to do. What happens when you've got more voices, more team members, more people above maybe investing money in you? How do you cope with maybe those conflicts that might arise, those awkward conversations, the having to stand up for your opinion?
It's how to put it? It's a learnt, and again, we're still so much on the curve. For me, it can only be about, you know, there are certain trade-offs that you have to be aware of, and for me, it was always about trying to find a moral kind of waypoint, a trade-off, a compromise, without compromising. Certainly, you know, even when we first got signed, and I was like, oh, I need to write pop songs now, like, and we delivered like so many songs, and they were like, where's the heavy? Like, and I was like, well, I thought you'd want like straight up song, like, and I was just young, and that's what I thought, and I kind of feel like being as stupid as I am kind of has really helped, because I thought that was what they might want.
Is that like, the people pleaser in you? Do you think just doing what you think they want, so you were trying to deliver?
I think it was. I don't. You can't. I feel like the reality of things. If you ignore that, then you are stupid. And I feel like we have to obviously be aware that we have an audience, and that we have a team who are there because they want us to get to a point. And don't get, we love our team, but we let's not pretend. We can't mince words on that either. Same with the label. It is a business, and we've learnt that certainly as we learn everything the hard way, the whole time being like, well, this part of the band is really down to us. Like, it's my greatest failing to ever feel like something would be done for you. Just because you're like, I'm signed now, I'm going to quit my job, I'm going to, ride a elephant, like, through the park. Like, it's like, you just feel like, this is all going to be done, when it's really is still, grassroots business, A-level. Like, it's down to you to get all that done and learn the hard stuff, and your accounting and your tax and all this kind of stuff, and investing and all this kind of thing. And obviously we've got a team around us that we need to look after and make sure they're paying their rents and they're, so you can't ignore that stuff. And creatively, obviously, I feel like every company flip-flops between a creative CEO and a business CEO, and the creative CEO spends the money in all the kind of right places, and then it doesn't do that well, and so they get the business guy and he's ruthless, and then everyone's like, oh, we're not stimulating anyone, and then just you need to you can fall so clearly into you can fall so easily into like feeling like you're being so hippie-ish, but then at the same time you really need to be aware that there's so much business in the way, and it's like music is such a weird subjective thing. Like there's no do this and there is success, or you sell this right and this will happen.
Or work hard and it will work out. Absolutely. Not necessarily.
Nice guys, they all finish last, and so many bands that we've become, we've been good friends with, and we're just like, how are you not riding, golden toilets? Like it that isn't the case, and we need to, when we're doing stuff, I have to be aware that we have an audience, and at the same time, that is kind of trying to, for me anyway, and again, this is just our best thesis that we have come up with, and that's not to say any of it, it's nothing, it could be shit. Like, we don't know yet. We don't know yet. But we it's well and good kind of saying all this other stuff, but yeah, that it is there, and we know we have an audience, and of course, we worry and every day sometimes, and kind of you worry about, is this it? Like, sometimes, we definitely had moments where we're just like, we done? Is this it? You know, just because we're human, I suppose, and you have natural doubts about things, and you know, and trying to square that away, and obviously we want to do the creative things that we want to do, but at the same time we want to write something that and it's such a hard point to express. Like, there's so many things that cross over, and kind of making something more to the point, and trying to redact something, and trying to make something more concise and compress it, that can make an idea so much stronger, and you know, and I really believe in that, and I love pop music, and I love the directness of that, and melody, and
digestible messages instantly in there.
Absolutely. But then I feel like that's the dichotomy that I rely on, is my love of all things sort of very left, and at the same time I love straight up pop. I love a good melody and harmony, and when it's done well, it is just magic. And I have to just trust myself to balance that out, and we are very critical of everything we do, and destroy, erase, improve is our absolute slogan. Of many albums worth of material that just bin, like gone, it's dead. We start songs for the last record, we literally did the exact amount of songs and did them and deleted them over and over and over. Completely different songs, same title, same key, same like sound-ish, completely different lyrics, different like, but just no, that's not the thing, that's not what we're after, delete it, start again. Sometimes it's easier to start again rather than try and sort of flog a dead horse. So it does help. It does help knowing that you have this audience, and like so many songs are written, you know, songs like Off the Floor and stuff like this, like 100% written with crowds in mind, and it's fun for us. You know, I love, you know, it's why we look back at our other stuff and it feels so jagged and discordant and whatever. But I love now that like our music's got a groove to it, and playing it live, I enjoy that more. I can get into the groove, and you know, I'd have a little dance on stage, you know, and that's what's fun for me, and we love playing it, and we love seeing that if we're enjoying it, then we love seeing it kind of move to the crowd, kind of thing. So obviously, as you know, especially with making something successful and with the business, again, like we're just putting all of our coins, all of our chips into, you know, we hope we can be aware of what befalls us and what is to come, and we understand that the bigger this machine gets, there will be absolute pressures from labels and whatever, and that's to be expected. It's not to be kind of demonized. As long as we kind of, you know, I like to be very kind of blunt and honest with that side of things, and just be like, I know what you want. Like, let's not pretend that you don't want us to have some commercial success, because it is an investment.
And you're not stupid.
Well, we're trying not to be. That's it. That's the whether or not that, I don't know yet. But we're trying to think our way out of that problem and be, okay, you need a song that's doing X and it needs to be this long so it will work on the radio and blah, blah, blah. Let's mess with that and tick all the boxes, but have done something that creatively pleases us, and kind of use that as a stimulus in itself, to be like, this is what we need to do.
It's basically playing the game as much as you're happy to do it, isn't it?
Sure, absolutely. And you know, I feel like for our fans, you know, there's never any compromise ever. I can attest to it. I have a certificate somewhere, I'm sure. Like, and that's the way we kind of, that's our game, maybe, I don't know, that's our brand. We try, that's our theory. It could be, you know, and I'm happy to be wrong in as much as we definitely said, well, if everyone turns around and goes, no, this was a really bad idea, this is bad, we don't like it, this is a bad thing, then I'd be like, well, that's what I was going to do, I won't do any better. Fine. Like, I'm happy to be wrong at the same time. That's fine, because was I wrong? Oh, what, do you know what I mean? And I will find, well, that's what I wanted to listen to. I couldn't have been more honest. So that's it. Fine, done. I'm wrong. You know. And that's
And you
fine.
move on, don't you?
Sure,
Yeah.
sure. And I'll just play this for me in like some cafe somewhere. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
You know, like, you go into a cafe and there's just some guy in the corner playing with that's me.
Happy
I'm
as Larry.
so happy,
Yeah.
so happy. Coffee, like, great. Little avocado thing, like, great. Love that.
Yeah.
Fine, no problems. I'll hang my coat up. You know, don't worry. See you later. That's fine.
Thanks for watching. Part 2 coming soon.